there's a part in the book that I was, when I read it, I was shocked. I was like, wow, people got to get this book. But there was a point where the Nation of Islam was involved as far as going to the hospital. They said that they were security or whatnot. They were watching over them. But there was a part in the book where it talks about at one point in time they were administering a drug. And apparently Eazy was getting better during the administration of this drug. This is a drug that the Nation of Islam supposedly has. But then that drug was stopped, reportedly by Tamika. What's the deal with this drug? What do you know about it, Ben? And was it really making Eazy better? And why do you think Tamika would stop it if it was making him better?
Well, first of all, it was something that was touted as the cure for AIDS. Remember, this was 1995, and people didn't know much about HIV or AIDS back then. And looking back, there's no real evidence that this was. Yeah, looking back, there's no real evidence that this was a cure. It was sort of an experimental thing. It was actually from Kenya, and had been brought to the U.S. and people thought it might be, it might be the ticket, and it was called Kemron, and some members of the Nation of Islam who were watching over Eazy, his security when he was in Cedars-Sinai Hospital. Some members were helping administer this Kemron to him with hope that it would help him feel better. And there are some signs that he was kind of feeling a little bit better, although, it's far from clear that it would have done anything to cure him or anything like that. But from what I understand, his wife, Tamika, who he married on his deathbed, didn't want to keep administering this because she didn't know what it was. It wasn't approved by U.S. doctors. For all she knew, it could have been making him worse. And I'm not of the opinion, that Tamika was trying to kill him or anything like that. But still, some people that were close to him thought, this is a Hail Mary pass. We should keep giving this drug to him. So that's how that kind of happened.
And she ultimately had the say-so as far as the power of attorney. Like nobody, since were they married at the point in time when this drug was being administered to him?
Yeah, I believe so. They got married, only not very long. I think maybe 2 weeks before he died or something like that. And she was the one who was kind of calling the shots. So yeah, it sounds like it would have been up to her. Yeah, that's crazy because as we've interviewed several people from Ruthless, including Jerry, and a lot of people said that from what they thought that the marriage certificate was signed when he was already in a coma, and if that's the case, I'm not saying it is. I'm just saying if that is the case, and this medicine was administered afterwards, and he was getting better, and she's like, "Nah, I'm done with it." It looks kind of suspicious to me. I'm just throwing it out there. I'm not saying nothing. Of course, I'm not accusing anybody, but I'm just looking at what we know right now as far as the medicine and all that, and it just looks a little fishy. It really does. Because if he was getting better, you would think, hey, let's keep giving him this stuff, and let's see what it does, Because after now she said, okay, no more of this drug, and subsequently, what happened after she stopped the drug? Like, how long after that did he pass away? Well, I think it was not long until he passed away after that. So there were people who were upset about that, but at the same time, it's more than 20 years later, and we still don't have a real cure for AIDS. So, I'm hesitant to say that this, would have done the trick, but, there were people who believed it could have helped revive him, at least temporarily.
Yeah.
And, there was a lot of animosity against Tamika, partly because after he died, people didn't like the way that his fortune was divided up, the way that Ruthless Records was run, and, it kind of ceased to be such a powerhouse of a label like it was when Eazy was alive. But then again, there probably weren't a lot of people, probably was barely anyone who could have really continued Eazy's vision and been as great at running the label as he was.